Okay. So good evening again. Thank you so much for coming. We are working really hard at trying to get as much information as we can out, especially as decisions are being made. Some of tonight might be a recap on some of the information that we have done in some of our previous community series, whether it was our first series of just introducing the school, our second series, which was about problem-based learning, as well as what is a magnet. We do have some more wonderful details for you. And then, of course, kind of going into the lottery process and um, how we were able to get everything going. So, first, the exciting part. Ready? We are officially home of the dinosaurs. So, some of you may have been a part of voting for our mascot. And we were between the dragons and the dinosaurs. And recently, one of our alternative high schools has decided to readopt their mascot, which was the dragon. So it did take our dragons out, just like I wouldn't pick the Bulldogs or the Ravens or any of the other high school ones. The high schools, they lean into their mascot just a little bit different than the rest of us. So we will be the dinosaurs. All dinosaurs, every dinosaurs are welcome. But let's be honest, it's going to be a dinosaur in a lab coat. So that's the most important, right?
Really?
First thing I'd like to go ahead and
Dinosaurs is the,
cover with you is the just some of the logistics. This I think might be a review for some, but I do think it's just kind of one of those great opportunities to take that time to really just review, make sure everybody's on the same page. So we are kindergarten through 8th grade. We will start our lottery with 2 sections or 2 rounds, which is just basically 2 classrooms per grade level. Our building does have the capacity for 3 rounds, but we are just going to see where our interest is at. And we'll start with 2 rounds. If there is a huge waiting list for a certain grade, and we need to pull from that wait list to create a 3rd classroom for that grade level, we do have that opportunity. We're just going to start and try and go slow, make sure we can take breaths, and then we will open as we go. Obviously, this is such a new venture for us in the district that we really don't know really what we're going to be up against. So we just want to make sure we're being very thoughtful. The next part is our school hours. Our school hours have been aligned with the elementary school. Obviously, as a 27J school, we're still Tuesday through Friday. So the school hours are 7:50 to 3:30. The doors will open earlier for breakfast, but the hours are 7:50 to 3:30, just like the elementary. It's one of the reasons for this choice was if there is a sport that a middle school student would like to participate in, we want to make sure if we are not offering it at Discovery, that they have ample time to get to their boundary middle school and really take that opportunity to get them there safely. So the other part of it was really coming down to what is the easiest for our transportation department. And well, one thing in education is you want to keep that department happy. So we'll be 7:50 to 3:30, all grades, kindergarten through 8th grade are following that schedule so that we're all there together as one big happy family. Transportation, I talked a little bit about this, but just wanted to retouch on it. For transportation, we will be offering the school district will be offering shuttles from 27J school sites. So right now, if your child takes a bus, it might be something like your bus stop is 141st in Yosemite, where now it would be your bus stop is, and it would be the school. So as we build our population, then we'll be able to also build our transportation routes. So more information will come on those. One of the questions that was on an RSVP list was if there was an additional cost to attend Discovery, and there is no additional cost. There's no application fee. There's no testing requirements. This is for our students just to have a different opportunity. So any of your typical fees that do happen at a 27J school will happen here. So the technology fees and those types of fees, but there is no additional cost. One of the other questions that we've been working hard to get some resolution for is our before and after school program that will be available. And what's super exciting about that opportunity is currently our before and after school program is ages 5 to 12 is where their licensing is. And they will be working on also providing an opportunity for those older than 12 that are enrolled in the school. So that's very exciting. Some middle school details that we do have that do get asked about a lot is there are the electives of art and music and PE, as well as they will be taking a science-based elective. We don't have locker rooms, so the one of the differences is in PE, they will not change out. So we just ask that if they have PE, that they are dressed for PE for their full day. And so for some, it might just be changing shoes or something along those lines. One of the other big questions that comes up is lockers. There are no lockers. They will carry their stuff. There are hooks in the classroom, so it's not like they have to leave their stuff just kind of all over the place. We'll try and teach that executive function of, hang it up. So we'll do the best we can. So for the lockers, we do not have them. We're going to save the space. And actually, you'll find in some of our middle schools, they're still currently not even using the lockers. So we're going to save the space and the money on those. Sports, we continue to leave our options open. It will really depend on interest. It'll depend on what we are able to manage. Again, if you go back to the school hours, one of our key components is trying to make sure that if students need to or want to take part in sports, they have time to get there and they would be able to go to their boundary middle school. And those shuttle buses will be able to get them there with enough time. So we should work out great there. And the other component for middle school is I have a high expectation for our middle schoolers to be leaders. And one of the beauties of a kindergarten through 8th grade is these middle schoolers have an opportunity to rise up as leaders because they are surrounded by students that will look up to them, and they are surrounded by students that might need something and learn something from them, where in a traditional middle school, it's students that are all the same age, right? So one thing that will be required is prior to graduating Discovery, 1/4 of their elective time will be spent on leadership. And by leadership, that means giving back to their school community. So that might look like they are the librarians for that period, checking out books, shelving books, helping students, reading with students, setting up the displays, They might be fluency coaches going and working with students younger than them, whether it's on math facts and doing flashcards with them, or whether it's on fluency. They will go into the classrooms to give back a little bit. Also might be that they might not be comfortable with students, and there's other opportunities, whether it's in the kitchen with the custodians, whether it's helping with safety. And every day our playgrounds have to be checked and our wood chips have to be raked. Students can help with all of that. So giving back to that community to have that buy-in in their school, and really take that opportunity to show them what giving back is. The next, just a quick reminder, is the key concepts for Discovery Magnet School. Again, some of these questions came in on the RSVP list, so I wanted to take an opportunity to just kind of readdress and go a little bit more in detail on what it might look like. Um, Problem-based learning is the instructional model that will be used. Our staff will be trained on this concept. As a brand new school, the bond pays for our staff to come together for 2 additional days above and beyond our regular professional development days, which will be phenomenal for us. It'll give us the opportunity to really dive in and help every teacher and staff in that building understand, what does problem-based learning mean to me, right? How do I make that work? Professional development, we have professional development every month with our staff, and our focus for the entire year will really be on the key components of problem-based learning, really diving in and allowing that long opportunity, because it's several hours of really diving into those lesson plans and seeing where we can add and where we can really enhance what we're doing. Also, weekly, our grade levels do meet and have the opportunity to get together. So that will also be an opportunity for them to look at those lesson plans and really dive into problem-based learning. The next key concept for Discovery Magnet School is we are science focused. So what does that mean for us? In elementary, it's a core class. It's given the same amount of time, love, and effort as reading and writing and math. So this is a fantastic opportunity for us to really start to integrate our subject areas, because through that science, you'll continue to see the reading um, and the writing. In middle school, they will have science that's already a core class, but they will also take a class of science discovery. And so what that is that's their other science opportunity. And this science is a broad scope of what science might be. It might be that a middle schooler might be in computer science building an app, and a different one might be in a dissection, and another one might be in a political science class, right? So really diving into the breadth and depth that is science. Art, music, PE, health, technology is also offered. And I do like to caveat that with the expertise that we are hiring, right? We're looking for high quality teachers that really believe in that problem-based learning and really believe in allowing students to own that part of the learning. And that might mean that I have a music teacher that is focused on instruments. And so obviously we would lean towards that strength of that teacher and offer band, and then maybe we wouldn't have choir. So we really do need to lean on the expertise that's hired. So I do try to be real clear with that. Things that stay the same. Our lessons are always driven by state standards. Um, but the difference is that all of our lessons are tied to a central concept, a driving question, or a problem. Um, we will utilize our district resources. However, they'll be compacted, and they really do take that shift towards the resource, not just turning the pages, because we have to get a lot of that learning in. We'll continue to use the curricular frames that have been designed by the district and just the same testing that is required in the neighborhood school. Since we are still a 27J public school, that testing does still happen at Discovery as well. The next question I get asked about is supports. Yes, special education is there, gifted education is there, EL services will all be there. So any related service that's currently available in 27J in a neighborhood building, we will have access to as well as a 27, since we're a 27J school. So that might be speech, language, occupational therapy, physical therapy. We'll have mental health and all the service plans, the IEPs, the advanced learning plans, all still have a place there so that we can really dive into what those students need. From my background, I do believe in clustering those students together so they have like-minded peers. So you will see the cluster model. So if we have 4 gifted students, for example, in 2nd grade, then we will do everything we can to put those 4 in the same classroom so that they have that cognitive think partner. All right. Whew, here we go. The next part is the application. So we have a pretty long window because you might notice in the middle of that window comes the holidays where really, as parents, can we remember anything? Just got to make sure we feed the kids, right? We're so busy getting ready for everything. We also have that window selected so that if families are waitlisted and they still would like to participate in the choice application for 27J, that will remain open for them as well. So trying to give you as the parents as many opportunities as we can. So it's a pretty early window. However, it will open December 1st. It will close January 20th. It looks so weird to see 2023 there. You will need to fill out 1 application per child. So it is not per family, it is per child that you would like to have attend Discovery. We're in current communication with a company named Schoolmint. And what the beauty is of that is it looks like Schoolmint gets along very nicely with Infinite Campus. So if you are currently a 27J family, your child has a student ID. They probably know it better than you do. Mine does. And you would be able to put that ID in and it would auto-populate your application. So fingers crossed for technology to work in our favor. And then January 25th, you'll receive a notification on if you have a seat or if you are waitlisted. So the big question is where in the world am I going to find this application? So we've been collecting email addresses. If you're here, we obviously have a good email address for you. So we've been collecting email addresses for everybody that's RSVP'd, so that application link will be sent directly to your email. We will also have it on the rotating story banner on our 27J website. We will have a Discovery webpage within just the next week or so. And then finally, we also have a Facebook page. And so we will, wow, Kevin, you're great. Kevin just dropped that link in your chat box. And so if you want to give us a follow on that, we can start to really build some momentum with Facebook. So that link is in your chat box. So those are all the places you'll find our application for you to fill out. And again, remember 1 application per child. So let's talk about our enrollment goal. Let's talk about the lottery. So this is our first district magnet school. We're still learning. We were still in conversations and really working through all the details all the way up to Monday. So the one thing that we do know and we're very dedicated to is our enrollment goal is we want to provide this opportunity for the students throughout all of 27J. And we are a lot bigger of a district than you might um, think. And so let me get this map up a little bit bigger for you. Oh, I did not pull our most recent with our fun site, so I apologize. This shows you our three regions, our three zones. So we have the West, the North, and the South. And those are our zones based off of addresses. So I do know that we do have some choice families that might live in the North zone, but they have enrolled in a South zone. Your application will take in account your address, not where your children are currently going. So keep that part in mind. So our goal looking at this is we want our enrollment to come from all over our district since this is our first magnet. And so we have a tiered lottery system to try and help this process come to fruition. And so I'm going to go through this lottery, this tiered lottery, two ways. This way is our list, and then I have some visual representation for you. While it is listed numerically, please know it's a percentage of the seats that are put aside for each of these that match our current percentage of 27J students with our siblings running alongside. Well, I am typically a list lover. I prefer my visual, so I'm going to run you through some scenarios. So if you take a look at this tiered lottery system, it's a little overwhelming, but we're going to take it chunk by chunk. On the bottom, you'll see it's a grade level. So keep in mind, we only go to lottery for a grade level if we have more applications than we have seats. We have less applications than we have seats. Just move you right on in. Won't that be fun? So we're going to take this for one grade level. We're going to look at this and we're going to pretend like it is the second grade level. So second grade, a portion of our seats are put aside for our first tier, which is our fee waiver students, our students that currently qualify for fee waiver. That percentage of seats that will come out will match where we are at as a district for those fee waiver students in January. If we don't, and again, it's just a small portion, right? It's that percentage that is set aside. If we do not get as many applications as we have seats set aside, those leftover seats go in the big bucket. The next component is the Discovery School staff, their kids. And so they will have the opportunity for their kids to attend the school. We all love the one drop off, right? And then the next tier that you will see is we're looking to balance our enrollment based off our planning areas. So the North, South, and West, the map that I showed you. So we have a portion set aside for the North, a portion set aside for the South, a portion set aside for the West. If we do not have as many applications from the South, those extra seats go back in that bucket. The next tier is 27J staff students. And then the next tier is our in-district students, and then our out-of-district students. So let's dive a little bit deeper on this, because on the side, you will see the siblings are running on this side. So siblings, our goal is to keep our families together. That's the beauty of having 9 grades in one building, right? Hopefully, you're getting to limit how many drop-offs you do. So if you're have your second grader and they are pulled in the south, and there you have a sibling in 6th grade, if there is space in 6th grade, they're automatically brought in. And so what happens there is we'll draw randomly on what grade levels we're pulling first, and then we will fill. And so the one thing to keep in mind is where I use this example with 2nd grade. Let's say our next one to pull is 5th grade. We might already have 3 kids sitting in 5th grade and we hadn't even started the lottery because those siblings would have come over. Okay. I want to run you through a couple scenarios. The hardest part with Zoom is I can't get the body language and facial expressions if I'm explaining it right. So I do have a couple scenarios, and I'm hoping maybe that will start to make this a little clearer, because I think we might be as clear as mud right now. So let's take this scenario. You can see on the screen little suns. They're to make you smile because it's happy and we want warmth again. So this particular student lives in the Pennock boundary, which is our north planning area. So you'll see a sun in the north area and then the in-district area. So this student has technically 2 lottery balls that they have 2 different times that they will be able to try and get in. Because it's a portion set aside, maybe we had so many students from the north apply that they didn't get into that portion, but then they have another opportunity in that in district as well. Let's go a little more complicated because that's so much more fun, right? So let's look at another student scenario. So this student has 3 sons. And so again, we might see that there's a percentage that is set aside for our fee waiver students. If we have more applications than what we have set aside, they didn't get picked. It's okay, because then they have an opportunity when we're in the West zone and we have an opportunity when we're in the in-district zone. Again, when I first started trying to plan this, I thought, ooh, I'll use numbers. But because of that sidebar, numbers don't work because we'll never know siblings. So it's not like every grade level is able to start exactly fresh. Again, those siblings really being able to kind of change the numbers. And so my hope is that you see that there's tiers, again, really trying to bring together the actualizing of the enrollment goal, that this opportunity is for all students in 27J. One thing to know is once you've applied, you have applied. You don't need to apply again. You don't need to apply each year. Once you're in, you are in. You're ours. And every year we will send a confirmation. Do you want to keep that seat? And we'll do that before the lottery so that we know how many seats we have. So sometimes families know they're moving out of state and they're going to finish out the school year, but they won't be there. And maybe they have a 5th grader. Well, now we have that 5th grade spot that would be open. So we would, we'll do a confirmation before the lottery just so we have an idea. But once you are in, you're in. And that, I think, will help alleviate some stress. No one loves paperwork, but all good things do come with paperwork. So, but again, only that application one time. I'm going to go ahead and open it up to questions. If you give me a second, I will open up my chat. Oops. Maybe I'll open up my chat. There it is. I think I hid it from myself. Let me scroll all the way up, make sure I don't miss any. I know Kevin's been answering some as well. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Kevin. So, first questions that we have, will this, you got that one. School be fully staffed, or will middle schoolers be filling positions? Oh, we will be fully staffed. This is just the learning opportunity. We won't do child labor. It's just a leadership opportunity. Another question, is it possible for some students in a family to get in, but others not? It is possible that a student, depending on our numbers, again, it is so new to us that we don't have a good idea on how many will be applying, but it is possible for one student um, to get in, and maybe the sibling is waitlisted. They'll stay in that priority of the tiers, so that sibling really holding a lot of priority so that they will be able to try and get everybody in. Again, really trying to get um, those families to stay together. I'm pretty sure I have some permanent gray hairs from multiple drop-offs, so I completely understand trying to keep everybody together. Another question is, can I apply to work at the school through the district site? So yes, we will be posting. So kind of a timeline for you is we will be posting, we'll be doing a staff information event in early December. We will be posting our planning committee. That's a team of 5 that will be helping really get the foundation of the school set up, that master schedule templates, and really driving those values and where we're applying and how we're going to really make all of this happen. They will start, they have a 2-day retreat, January 30th and February 6th. So that will be the planning committee. And then we will post in February for all of our teaching positions and our supplemental staff position as we are given our funding and approval. All of that is on our Work at 27J. Our goal, it's a very lofty goal, but our goal is to be staffed by March. While a student. So a fee waiver, you can go through 2 different processes or 2 different departments. Our intervention services department can work with you. Jamie White and her team are amazing. And they can work for you as if you're going through guardianship and kinship, as well as our free and reduced lunch program through nutrition services can also go through that too. And they are considered fee waivered students at that point in time. I would highly suggest working with intervention services as you go through the process. That is their expertise. They're very, very, very wonderful to work with. And please email me if you need their email addresses or anything that I can help with on that as you're going through the qualify for fee waiver. Oh, good question. Where do I watch the other sessions that I've done for discovery? So we will have a landing page, if you will. It's like a mini webpage. I'm going to graduate to a full webpage at some point. I know I will, but we'll have a landing page, and those will also be on there. You are also welcome to email myself or Kevin Danke, and we can send you the last recording that we had on what is a magnet and what is problem-based learning. Next question is how to get on the email list. If you received the Zoom link to be here tonight, you are already on that list. Oh, Kevin, you're amazing. There's a link to our Zoom recording from the November 7th. He's so quick. I can't even keep up with him. There are no uniforms in the school. There's just the dress code that happens within the 27J schools. So there's no particular uniforms per se, except for a dinosaur day. Just start collecting dinosaur shirts now. I'm just saying. Okay, well, it's not a uniform, but it's fun. Clearing up the siblings. I wish I was a faster reader. I'm very sorry. Clearing up the siblings. Second grader does not make the West lottery, but the fifth grader does. My second grader will auto be pulled for the in-district tier. So they would have that opportunity on the in-district tier, but they also will then sit in that sibling. So you would put a star over on that side as well. If none get pulled until the district tier, then siblings may get waitlisted. And that is true. They may get waitlisted, but once one gets pulled, everybody else hits that sibling status and moves forward. I'm hoping I'm saying that clear. This is the hardest part of Zoom. So staff kids for Discovery School, there's the portion of them. And how does that work for hiring after the lottery? That's a great question. And a lot of staff have asked that too. We will be setting aside a couple seats in every grade level so that as we hire the staff, they have those opportunities. Once we're fully hired in March, if those seats are not filled, we release the seats back. And if we have a wait list, then we will pull from that wait list. Obviously, this will be our only year that we have this super wonky opportunity. But that is how we are managing it right now, is holding some seats aside so that we can honor that tier higher, and then we will release those seats if they are not used. Middle school classes, as far as their schedule, this will really come in with the planning team. We have a couple different scenarios that we have the opportunity, just because we are so much smaller, we actually have almost too much opportunity, if that's a thing, in our schedule. So that will be a decision the planning committee will come up with to go through that exercise. This might be more information than you want, but here goes. To go through that exercise, our first step is we're going to root into our values, and we're going to root into what we are hoping most to get from each of those grade levels. And then we're going to go through the steps of it's a program called middle school scheduling for the middle schooler. So it takes it from the student perspective. And so we will run ourselves through that so that we can decide what is going to be best. So the schedule part will come much later, like you said, probably in the spring. The next question is how many kids per class and how many total seats are there to be filled. So we are doing 25 students in the class, and that's kindergarten through 8th grade, knowing that we might end up bumping up to that 26 side. We might be a little lower at that 24 side. So we're kind of just averaging around that 25. Oops, they're moving faster than I can answer. Oh, please. So one big difference is you need to keep in mind our building is technically our Padilla South Lawn Reunion building. So those classrooms are smaller, which means our middle school class does need to stay smaller. You can only fit so many bodies in a classroom. So we are keeping it around that 25. Um, the next question, I must be doing an awful job explaining this lottery. I'm really sorry. Zoom is really difficult because you can't see anybody. I had like a couple faces to go off of, and even they've turned their cameras off. Say second grade has no lottery because they have enough seats, then siblings in the grades in lottery are auto pulled in. Member will lottery, we're going to pull what grades fill first. So keep that in mind. I wish it was as easy as plop everybody in for the seats that aren't lotteried, but we do need to be fair for that. So we will pull which grades go first. If we move to that lottery side, let's see, PBL is often with block schedule, but it's also often, and where I would love to see our PBL is more of that interdisciplinary. And so what's really great about that is we don't have to force a block schedule if that's not where the planning team sees us needing to go. We have the opportunity to do that interdisciplinary side as well, which then allows, in a weird way, a block scheduling too. So you can get very creative when you are smaller. I'm not moving 1,000 middle schoolers around. So really, as long as I can make sure they get that lunch and that outside recess time and let them be kids, right? We do have some of that flexibility within that. So even though we're PBL, if we choose not to do block, know that we have that flexibility since we are so much smaller. Kindergarten having a para. So this is was kind of a holdover, and the law has changed a lot. For a little bit, kindergarten was required to have a para in a law of the Cap for K. Now we've moved away from that. Well, that funding source, I should say, stopped, and they've changed the way we do it. So kindergarten won't have a para per se. So they won't have that dedicated para support like you might have seen about 5 years ago. We will try and get everybody as much support. One of the fun things is really utilizing those middle schoolers to come in and help and be a part of the classroom routines, because it would be the same time every day. So I have too many kids. I feel like I have too many kids. I get that. Anticipating paraprofessional additional support in class. Yes, yes, and yes. So the paraprofessionals in a school, if you just go and just watch, just almost people watch, are some of the most talented and amazing people, and schools do not run without them. So paraprofessionals still be a part. Where they are playing may look a little different. Again, our planning team will really decide where we go with this, but one of my personal passions is movement. So in a school that I was principal with before, we had PE every day for kindergarten through 4th grade to learn skills and get the movement. And because we had bigger classes for that opportunity, we had a para in there full time. So it might look a little different depending on which values that planning team really says that we need to do. We're going to pick those first couple things and we're going to perseverate. We are going to spend all of our time to make sure we rock those. and we know that the rest will come together. So really that PBL and really those opportunities for the kids to build that community. So for example, kindergarten through 5th grade connection is a huge part. And so every one of those classrooms will have a large carpet for a community meeting to have. Where I personally would love it in middle school, the bodies are a little big, and so we don't have the space for it. They'll still have that community time, but we won't make them sit on letters on a carpet, but it's tempting because they are so adorable. So yes, so paraprofessionals, additional support, obviously the parent volunteer is also going to be a big component as we try to launch that problem-based learning, because we do need that authentic feedback from other adults above and beyond the teacher's voice. Let's see, is there a specific benefit or reason to pull your child from their existing school for this model, or is this an additional choice? So this is an additional choice. This is an opportunity for kids to experience the problem-based learning instructional model, where they have a few different cycles of problem-based learning. It's also the opportunity, if they really have a love of science or really want to learn in that nonfiction world, they are given more opportunities for this. And the other opportunity really falls around having the smaller community of kindergarten through 8th grade. So those would be some of the benefits or reasons that I would see in more dinosaurs. So that's like the best reason. And so it really is a choice for families to be able to lean on what they feel is best for their family. I'm going to do a quick scroll. Sometimes they come in really quick. I think I got our questions. Kevin is recording this. He does send out a recap email, and the link is on this. For this recording will also be on there. So please, feel free to re-listen to it, because it was the most amazing thing you've done all week, I'm sure. And if, as you're going through, you have more questions, please take the opportunity to send them to us. The questions, and really on that RSVP list, as you've had those questions, then that is really what helps us kind of drive our informational nights. We will be planning an opportunity for our families, if they need help filling out the application, or if they need access to a computer to do the application. We will be planning an event just to provide that opportunity for anyone that might need it in December or January. You'll get the information. So if that is something that you will need, please know that will also be another opportunity for you. One quick question came in: 2 classes per grade for middle school as well. To start, yes, we'll start with 2 classes per grade level for this round of our lottery. And then again, we have that opportunity in middle school to go up to 3, or depending on where the planning committee takes us, we might have the opportunity to even move up to 4. We really need to see where our interest is for our community. So we'll start with 2, because we can make programming happen that way. And then we will lean into where we see our needs from everyone else. Again, we'll continue these different events, so please keep an eye out. The application opens December 1st. If you got this link from an email, then you will receive that as well too. So you'll receive the application, and then you will fill out that application. And then it will go from there. All works well with Schoolment. Schoolment will also provide you text messages with updates too. So it will be wonderful to have that opportunity for you. We will have a secretary that will also be able to assist, especially with the registration and paperwork, especially if you're not currently in a 27J school and you are accepted, you'll have a little bit more paperwork to do. Laura Fine will be our secretary office manager, and she will be starting December 1st and will also be able to help everybody. So thank you all for coming. I hope you have a great evening. At least we all got to do it from a warm place, right? We're not walking through a cold parking lot like we did last night. So again, thank you all for being here. Have a great night, and Kevin will send out this link to the recording for you as well.